I'm going to say something I've never once said in a New Braunfels housing market report before. This is a bloodbath. If you're an investor or a buyer watching this right now, this may be one of the best opportunities we've seen in New Braunfels in years. And that's because the housing market here is split right now into two completely different worlds. City limits 78130 and Hill Country 78132. And they're both changing fast, but for different reasons. If you are new here to my channel, thank you so much for coming aboard, especially today, because every week we're giving you relevant and timely information just like this about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. Let's start with the overall market. Median home prices in New Braunfels have now been falling since October 2025. Inventory just increased again, and now we have more homes for sale than we've had in over 11 years. But here's the stat that matters most, and it's hard to hear for sellers. Sellers in New Braunfels are only getting about 90% of their original asking price. That means that buyers are negotiating and winning. This isn't a seller's market. Heck, it's not even a balanced market. It's a negotiations market. You remember 5 years ago when buyers had to overpay for homes and offer sellers their firstborn, and sellers could just write their ticket, write whatever they want, and got whatever they want? Well, clearly the shoe has been on the other foot in New Braunfels for quite some time now. It's the polar opposite of the seller's market in 2020, 2021, and 2022. There's just no way to feel excited about these numbers if you're a seller in New Braunfels. Inside city limits, 78130, when you combine resale homes and new construction homes, prices are down about 5.5% year over year, sitting right now around $300,000. Inventory is up, and homes are closing at 90.6% of asking price. Buyers are not paying list price anymore. They're making offers, and sellers in most cases are accepting them. Here's what this looks like in real life. We have a listing right now in New Braunfels, been on the market for over 3 months, which is not uncommon in the slow market in New Braunfels, even when the house is, and ours is, priced at or below market value. And all of a sudden we get 2 offers. Great, right? Contingent offer, cash offer, so we accept the cash offer. And during the option, you think it'd be a slam dunk, right? During the option period, the buyers ask for the mood, concessions, repairs, things buyers didn't even think about asking for 5 years ago. So we negotiated the contract, and we didn't give everything away, but this is a conversation that never happened 4 or 5 years ago. Back then, you remember, buyers were just competing with each other, and now they're negotiating with sellers, and that's exactly what the numbers show. Now here's where it starts really hurting. Existing homes only, city limit 78130, median price $274. That's down 14% year over year. Now let me put that in perspective. The median price peaked in May 2025, just last May, at $362. That's a massive drop in a very short time. Why? I mean, what the heck? Why is this going on here? Well, it's because resale sellers are competing with something they just can't compete with: builders and their very enticing incentives and discounts. Speaking of which, new construction in city limits is actually up about 5% since this time last year. But don't misunderstand what that means. Builders are not really winning because their homes are necessarily worth more. Builders are winning because they control financing. They buy down your mortgage rate, they pay your closing costs, they include sometimes appliances and offer incentives. So yeah, you may be paying more for the house, but your monthly payment is lower, and that's what buyers in New Braunfels are shopping right now. Here's the proof. New construction homes right now are closing at only 89.3% of original list price. And here's what happens. When a builder starts a home, it's priced at its highest it's going to be. When it's near completing, finishing, the price drops. And when it's finished and sitting on the market, no buyers, not sold, there's an even bigger drop. And so that's where you get your 89.3%. Let's jump over to Hill Country. 78132, combined market, existing and new construction homes. Prices are down about 6% from this time last year. Sellers are getting about 91% of their list price. But now, this is where things get dramatic. We're looking at existing homes only in Hill Country, 78132. Median price is $467 right now. That's down 30% from this time last year. The peak was $722 in 2022. Inventory is sitting around 6 months. This isn't a slowdown. It's more like it took a beat down. This is a big correction in the New Braunfels Hill Country resale market. And Hill Country sellers are now averaging about 90% of their original list price on average, Meanwhile, new construction in the Hill Country is actually up 7.4% from this time last year, and they're getting about 93% of the list price. Builders are the strongest product in the New Braunfels market. This has been building in New Braunfels for the past 3 or 4 years. Builders, again, have one advantage resale sellers will never have. They're banks. They can buy down rates. Resale sellers just struggle with that. I mean, a buyer looks at 6.8%, 7% mortgage rate on a resale home, or 4.99% or even lower for a new construction home. Which one would you take? Well, many buyers are taking new construction over resale unless that resale seller is offering that buyer a seller credit at closing for closing costs, to pay for closing costs, or rate buy down. And this is why resale median home prices are hurting in New Braunfels. I met with a family this week. They bought in New Braunfels about 5 years ago, and now they need to move for health reasons. Well, none of the comps we're showing researching support what they need to move, but technically they can afford to move. They just don't want to lose money on their house, but they want land. They want more land, they want more space for their kids, but now they're stuck making this life decision based on the housing market we're in right now in New Braunfels. These are real conversations with real people that we're having right now in New Braunfels. Sellers, you got to understand this hard truth. The market doesn't care about what you need for your house. It only cares about competition. And right now your competition is not your next door neighbor. It's a corporation, i.e. builder, with a financing department. Now here's the other side to this. If you're an investor or buyer watching this right now, this is your window, because motivated sellers, they're out there. Prices are compressed, negotiation power is back, and when rates normalize, eventually appreciation follows. This is when portfolios are built, not at the peak, but in the discomfort. Buyers, negotiate. This has been your market in New Braunfels the last 3 or 4 years, especially this year after the numbers you just saw. Sellers, pricing strategy matters more this year than it ever has. Investors, you should start looking now and stop waiting. If you're trying to figure out whether to buy, sell, or just wait, just reach out to me and let's have that conversation, because right now you need a strategy and not a Zestimate. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, thank you so much for coming to and watching our videos every week, and we'll see you on the next one.